Okay, so I have a very important video today regarding Amazon ads. Now, this is the third time that I've made this video because I've had a hard time trying to explain everything that goes on in my mind in these videos regarding the ads, because this isn't going to be a tutorial, but I wanted to share some tips with you on how you can get started with Amazon ads, and equally as important, whether you should get started running Amazon ads. So I want to go over some of the basics here with Amazon ads and how you can set some of your ads up and get them running right away. But first and foremost, what I want to talk about is whether you should actually run ads to your book. Now, this is very important. So first and foremost, you need to decide, do you have the money to put into Amazon ads? So when it comes to running ads with Amazon, there's absolutely no guarantee that you're going to see a return on your investment with these ads. So the mentality that I've gone in with when I've started running these ads is that I'm going to set myself a budget as to how much I'm willing to lose. That might sound very pessimistic, but it keeps me safe in terms of my money. But how much money I'm willing to lose when it comes to running these ads. And my initial amount for this month, so the month of May, was $150. I was willing to lose, to spend and lose on ads. Okay, so that's obviously the worst case scenario, is I lose $150. Now, hopefully, if you're just starting, you won't lose anywhere near that amount of money. But $150 is absolutely fine in my mind for me to lose. So I've decided to test ads, get as much information back from these ads as I can, and then go forward and hopefully continue to run profitable ad campaigns from the information that I've basically spent money on to receive from Amazon. Okay, so I've spent $132 here, and the information that I'm getting back here is the sales, the ACoS, the clicks, the keywords that are converting, and everything like that. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is I'm paying for the information of these ads, the ones that I can continue to run, make profit with, and the ones that I can cancel that aren't making me profit. Okay, so they go forward in the future and continue to make money. Okay, so what I wanted to do quickly in this first part of the video is decide to try and help you decide whether or not your book is good enough to run ads to, because the fundamentals here are that if your book isn't a good enough quality to run ads to, there's no point in sending more traffic to those books that aren't good enough, okay? Because you're just going to end up wasting money if nobody wants your book, okay? So quality is subjective, I understand that. However, I think there is a stark contrast between something that is very good quality and something that is just bad quality, okay? So what I want to do quickly is just give you a few examples of books that I would consider running ads to, so you can get an idea of the quality or the uniqueness of a book that you should have in mind before you start running ads to them. And of course, once again, I mean no disrespect to any of the authors' books that I'm about to show, but this is just my opinion on whether I run ads to these books or not, okay? Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of examples here. And the first one that I'm going to look at is This Unicorn Coloring Book for Girls age 8 to 12. I'm going to try and do all these in the same niche of unicorn coloring books, which everyone knows about by now. So, okay, would I run ads to this book here? Absolutely yes. Like unicorn coloring books for girls age whatever is a very competitive market. I probably wouldn't ever enter it myself unless I knew that I could create a cover that was this good or have a cover this good made for me. Okay, so it's got reviews, it's got a good price point, $7, and the interior, the pictures inside look pretty good themselves as well. So I would run ads to this book. Even though the niche is competitive, the quality of the book is high enough to run ads to, okay? Okay, so moving on to a book that I don't think I would run ads to is in the same niche, is this one here, Not Your Average Unicorn. Again, no disrespect to anyone that's published this book, it's just my opinion. I wouldn't run ads to this book because it's in a very competitive market and the cover for me is just not good enough. Like, this really doesn't strike me as a great cover. The backgrounds are not actually that bad, but I don't think it works for me. This is something I don't think I could make sales on. And again, inside, I feel like the images inside this book, from what I can see from the look inside feature, they're not that good to me, okay? So for me, in my eyes, there is a big difference in the quality of these books. And from there, you should be able to determine whether or not your book is good enough to run ads to. So again, it's not just about the quality of your book, but also the uniqueness of your book. So I'm going to give you two more examples now, and hopefully this will cover kind of all types of books once I've finished these next two examples as well, okay? Okay, so let's take a look at these next two examples now. So we have bucket list books, which are of course low content books. The first one here, would I run ads to this book here? No, I wouldn't. It's a typical keyword cover, as I like to call them. It's a keyword cover. It just has the keyword on the front here, my bucket list, that's kind of just a keyword. There doesn't seem to be anything unique about this book. It's been done before. It's been done many times before on Amazon, this type of book. It's not something I'd run ads to. The description is not very good, and there's a lot of irrelevant words in the title as well, which doesn't make that much sense to me. I'm just not appealed by this book. Okay, so moving on, this one here, would I run ads to this book here? I think after some tweaking to the description here, they're stuffing the keywords, which you shouldn't do. I would run ads to this book because, and this is one I'm on the fence with, I would probably try ads with this book, should I say, because I do kind of like the cover and it has a unique element to it. So it's still a bucket list, but it has this unique element on the front here where it's just not a keyword title, okay, where it's just not a keyword cover, okay. So it has the story of us, our bucket list journal on the front, instead of just saying my bucket list or bucket list journal. It has a unique element, okay. So design might not be incredibly good, but it just has that unique element that might target that smaller part of this niche, if that makes sense, okay. So when it comes to running ads to these type of books, you need to decide, and hopefully I've given you good enough examples here. Is your book of a high enough quality in terms of the graphical style of the cover, like the unicorn book that I showed you? Is it good enough on the cover alone to run ads to and attract people to? And if you're doing low content, simple covers like the ones that I've just showed you here, you need to decide, in my opinion, is this unique enough to the niche that I'm targeting, the audience that I'm targeting? Is it unique enough to run ads to? So for this one, my bucket list on its own doesn't feel unique enough to me, and Amazon is absolutely flooded with this type of book, and I still get people messaging me, showing me examples of their book, and all they're doing is just this. They're putting keywords on the front cover, doing things people have done a million times before on Amazon, shoving them out there and not making sales, and they're not making unique covers like this one here. So graphically it's not incredibly good, it's decent, but it does have that unique spin to it. So I'm just using this as an example. I do think the story of us has been copied from somewhere else, so on that basis alone I wouldn't run ads to this book because it's not a unique book, I don't think. But I think you understand. So if this was their own idea and it was the only one on Amazon with that on the front, then yes, I would run ads to. But just for the sake of this example, let's say yes, we would run ads, assuming that no one else has done this type of book, okay? Okay, so with that in mind, let's come across to my account and take a look at some numbers here on my account. And I'm going to talk you through what I've been doing and why I've been doing it and how you can get started with your first campaign and the best way that you can go about starting your first campaign too, okay? Okay, so in my opinion, the best way for a beginner with Amazon ads to get started, once you've passed that first barrier of deciding whether your book is unique enough or of high enough quality, the best way that you can get started, in my opinion, is with automatic ads, okay? So what I'm going to do now is show you how I set up my automatic ad campaigns. And again, this isn't a tutorial per se. It's not me telling you this is what you need to do. This is just what I've been having some success with early days with ads, okay? So this is kind of a mini tutorial, shall we say. Okay, so you can either come across to the bookshelf part of your Amazon account here and pick the book that you want to run ads to, or you can come across to the ads campaign section and then click learn more and then pick the marketplace that you want to advertise in. So for the most part, you're going to want to go US, Canada and UK as the main three here, and I think maybe Australia is probably going to be a good one now that they've I think they've got Prime over there now. I'm not quite sure what happened. A lot of people, someone can probably tell me in the comments what's happening with the Australian marketplace. But for now, I'm just going to take a look at US, Canada and UK for my ads. So let's head over and just click on the US advertising platform here. All right, so that's going to bring us to this page here. We just want to come up to the top left here, click on campaigns. And then this, of course, brings me into my account where you can see my spend, my sales, my ACOS for this month. Going to get into that in a minute, so don't worry too much about all the numbers that you see on screen. And again, I'm not going to necessarily be going over every single number that you see on the screen here and every single thought process and every single keyword. We'll get to that in a minute or more in a more advanced video at some point. But for now, just setting up these campaigns, an auto ad campaign. Let's just go down to create campaign here. And then we're going to go with the sponsored products section here. So I've not experimented with sponsored brands or lock screen ads, so I'm just going to ignore them completely and click continue on sponsored products. Okay, then it brings us to create a campaign. So you want to give your campaign a name. Obviously, it's going to be something related to your book that you can understand and refer back to. So in the campaign name, I like to type, as you could probably just saw from my dashboard there, I like to type whether it is an automatic campaign or a manual campaign. So for this one, whatever book that we got going, I'm going to put auto afterwards just so I know this is an automatic campaign. Because once we have, 50, 100 or more ads running, I want to be able to identify these type of books very, very quickly on my account. Start date, obviously this is self-explanatory. If you want to have an end date, I don't know the purpose of that particularly. I guess that's for more advanced users, but start date, just have whenever you want it to start. Could be today, tomorrow, next week, whatever. And daily budget. Now this is something that's a little bit daunting for people because I tend to go with $5 to $10, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be spending $5 to $10 every single day. And the likelihood of you spending that, if you're just running a couple ads, the likelihood of you spending that type of money is very low, especially if you're doing automatic ads the way that we're going to be doing them. But for now, 5 should be absolutely fine. And before we move on here, just to make this absolutely clear, I can't predict how much money you're going to spend every single day. If you put $5, I don't know whether you're going to spend $1 of that or $5 of it every single day. So please, if you do start running ads and you do put in a $5 budget or a $10 budget, please make sure you check how much you are spending, because I've fallen into the trap of leaving my ads running for a week and not checking them and then realizing I was spending way too much on a couple of my campaigns that I didn't want to be spending that much on. Okay, so keep checking these and hopefully you won't spend too much on this, all right? Because we want to treat this like a business. We're new to this. We want to keep our costs low. So let's keep checking those ads, okay? And targeting, obviously we're going to go with the automatic ads. Manual ads is for another video, and mainly because I don't know what I'm talking about with manual ads. So I got a couple of them running, a couple of them making money. But I do need to learn a lot more myself about manual ads before I can make videos on them, okay? So auto ads, great for beginners. Let's do that. Okay, so next we need to pick our campaign bidding strategy. Okay, so the main two that I would use here are dynamic bids down only and dynamic bids up and down. So let's just read these out quickly so you understand what's going on when you pick these. So dynamic bids down only will lower your bids in real time when your ad may be less likely to convert to a sale. Any campaign created, blah, blah, blah. Then dynamic bids up and down will raise your bids by a maximum of 100% in real time when your ad may be more likely to convert to a sale, and lower your bid when less likely to convert to a sale. Now, if you're really, really tight with money and you're really unsure about running ads, I'd go with down only, but you're going to expect to have less clicks when you select the down only option. So less clicks, less sales, but it's going to be a safer bet for most of you. For all of my campaigns, my auto campaigns, I'm now using up and down because I'm feeling quite confident about the ads or the books that I'm running ads to. So I don't mind whether the bid gets increased slightly on some of those. Okay, and I've got a little bit of money to spare as well, so I'm not too fussed if I lose tiny bits of money here. So one of these two, you need to decide which one you want to go for, and then you can move on down to your ad format, which we're going to have as a standard ad. So custom text ad is when you get to write a little bit of a text underneath your ad. I don't really see anyone using that. I've never seen people advise other people to use that either. So for me, just use standard ad, okay? Okay, so moving on, we have the product section here, which is where you're going to go through and find your book from the list that's going to be here, from the list of your books. Find the one that you want to run ads to. You're going to click it, and then it's going to pop it onto this side here, and then that's going to be the book that you're going to be advertising, okay? Okay, so that moves us on to a very important part of our automatic campaigns, and that is the automatic targeting section here, which sort of determines how much you're willing to spend every time someone clicks on your book when they see it as a sponsored listing on Amazon. Okay, so once you've selected your book, you're going to see that they're going to give you, it doesn't show it on mine because I've not selected a book, but it's going to give you a recommended price per click that you should go for, and it's going to be really high. Like it's probably going to be over $1, which means every time someone clicks on your ad, you're going to be spending $1 on the ad, which for me is way too high. Okay, like I feel like sometimes I'm not going to make my money back if I'm spending that much on clicks. Okay, no matter what the recommended bid is on this section for whatever niche I'm picking in, I always like to drop this down to somewhere around 25 cents at the highest. So 25 cents per click is as high as I'm willing to go when I'm initially setting up these auto ads. Okay, and I'll go anywhere as low as 20 cents per click. Okay, which obviously means that there's going to be less clicks because we've lowered the bidding price, but we'll be spending less money with those clicks. Okay, So it's going to take longer when you do things this way. You're not going to see that many sales to your account when you're running low bid automatic ads, but it is a good way. Like over the course of a month, once you've done this, you'll get good data back from Amazon. You would have spent money on good data from Amazon as to what is converting for you and what isn't working on your book. Okay, so I'm going to go into my account in a minute and just talk a little bit more about that, because I understand this might get a little bit confusing at times, but hopefully by the end of this video, you'll understand why we're doing what we're doing. Okay, so the takeaway from the default bid section here is just to keep it low, and you'll see in a minute why. Okay, so negative keyword targeting and negative product targeting, I don't touch that. This is way too advanced for me, and for the most part, we're probably not ever going to need to do this unless we're, putting out some crazy books and making some crazy money with Amazon. But let's not worry about that for now. And then once we're done with that, we can just launch campaign. And again, please do make sure that you keep an eye on how much money is being spent. But the likelihood of you spending that $5 per day is quite low, just because the default bid is quite low. Therefore, the clicks that we're getting is going to be low as well. So the total cost is going to be low every single day. Okay, so we've gone to launch campaign. We'll launch our campaign, and I'll take us back to my account now so we can take a look at some of my figures and why I'm doing what I'm doing with these low bids. Okay, so back into my account here, where you can see I spent $132 and had $575 worth of sales this month with an ACoS of 22%, nearly 23. So let's not worry too much about these numbers now. I understand completely that they are very important, especially ACoS, because it determines whether you're making money or not. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got quite a few campaigns running this month. Now, what I did recommend between $5 and $10 daily. I don't necessarily do that on every single one of these listings. I've dropped them to between 3 and 5 for the most part, as you can see here. And that's just because I'm very cautious about spending too much money. So you can imagine if these were all $10 per day and I just happened to forget and they went absolutely crazy and ended up spending a ton of money over the course of a week or something, then I would have maybe lost money and I felt terrible for doing that. So my dailies are quite low for some of these ads that I'm running. But as time goes on and as I get more information, more data from Amazon, I'm probably going to increase the daily budget for some of these. Okay, so as I said before, what I'm currently doing, since I'm still kind of a beginner myself at this, is what I want to do is just get data and information back from Amazon and just find the keywords and the ads that are making money for me, and then cut off the ones that I feel aren't making money. Now, when it comes to ACoSs that are quite high, around like 37, 35, 30% here, that seems quite high. But for these campaigns, if I'm kind of hitting a break-even point, especially the automatic campaigns, if I'm hitting what I think is around a break-even point or even losing money ever so slightly, then I'm happy to keep this running, because in my head, this says to me, maybe this is going to increase my positioning of this book on Amazon's marketplace for the keywords that I'm targeting. And then from there, maybe I'm going to get more organic sales. So that's something I'm just keeping an eye on. I don't mind too much if I'm breaking even or losing money ever so slightly on these ads. Okay. And when it comes to, so I use this one here, for example, the 35% one. So this is a manual ad. So inside of this campaign here, what I have is multiple keywords or keyword phrases that I'm targeting. So what I found was, I think I have maybe like 10 different keywords, maybe even 20, I can't remember, but it was a few different keyword phrases inside this campaign here. And each of those keyword phrases has a different ACoS. So some of them are converting around like 10%, and some are converting around like 40%, 50%, 5%. So what I've done is gone inside this campaign and just shut off the keywords that aren't making me money. So you understand what I'm saying here about Amazon giving us information and data as to what we should continue running and what we shouldn't continue running. So I went into this and I just shut off the ones that weren't making money, and I let the ones that were making money continue to run. So this ACoS was much higher at the start of the month, maybe around 50%. But with a bit of tweaking, this campaign is now overall making me money on the keyword phrases inside of this campaign. Okay, so that's for a manual ad, and that's for, once I get better at running manual ads, I can make videos on this. But that's just my thought process when it comes to Amazon giving me this information and then me deciding what to do with those ads from there. Okay, so when it comes to the ACoSs that are quite low and evidently they're making me money, so we'll take a look at these ones here from 18% here to as low as 6% with these ACoSs. So they're obviously doing well. They're not got like crazy amounts of sales. They've got 5, 6, 4, 3. They're doing okay. Now, On these automatic campaigns, as I've just shown you, these sales are coming in very slowly over the course of the month. And that's because the bidding, like I showed you on the bit where we created our campaign, they're probably around 20 to 25 cents. So the sales are coming in very slowly because the clicks are coming in very slowly because the bid is low. So what I'm seeing here is that some of these books are converting well. These automatic ads, they're converting well. So what I've decided to do in the last few days for the automatic campaigns that are going well is to go into these campaigns and slightly increase the bid from 20 cents to maybe 22 cents, 23, 24, 25 cents. Okay, so I'm slowly increasing it in the hopes of making more clicks and making more sales here because I can afford to increase the cost of my bids. Okay, so let's move on to the last one that I want to take a look at here, which was this ACOS of 77%. I spent $3 on it, made 4 sales, and only had $4 of return for that book. Now for me, that looks like people are only buying the ebook version of this book for some reason. So I spent $3 on it. I've looked at the data that Amazon has given me back for this ad here, and I thought to myself, this probably isn't going to make me money. I want to stop losing money. So obviously what I did was just came over, paused the campaign, probably never going to run that campaign again, just because I don't think it's going to make me any money. Okay, so in terms of how much money that I'm willing to lose before I shut off a campaign or do something different to that campaign, $2 to $3 for me seems like enough, especially if your bid cost is very, very low. You've got to make that decision as to how much money you're willing to lose before you start pausing these campaigns and stop running ads to them. Okay, so for me, $2 to $3, I take a look at the information Amazon's given me from that amount of spend when my click price is low, and then I decide from there whether I want to close the campaign or not. So for these other ones, 37, 35, 30%, happy to let them run. There are things happening with inside these campaigns that I'm also changing, but for the most part, not really losing money on them, working on them, trying to optimize them, trying to make money with them. Okay, and then hopefully next month when I continue to run these ads, so in April I'm going to continue running all these ads other than the ones that I've turned off, obviously. Keep checking them, going to start running more ads, and then hopefully we'll just be leaving the keywords and the listings and the auto ads and the manual ads. We're going to leave all the ones that are working going, and we're going to shut off all the ones that aren't working. Okay, and then when I can see that I've got ads that are converting well, I'm going to start increasing the bid ever so slightly to try and drive more traffic, more clicks, and more sales to those books that are successful. Okay, and before I close out this video, I just wanted to make a really brief observation about something that's very powerful within ads that people don't really talk about that much, that I've actually noticed on some of my books that are in series or have the same author name. So to give you an example here, I think it's this book here, the one that I'm running manual ads to, that's had 21 orders on it this month. So what I've noticed, this book is in like a series of books, and what I've noticed is that people are buying this book, and this could be a complete coincidence, but my sales rankings have gone down in a good way for the other books, or some of the other books that are in this series of books. So I say series, but it's just the same author name. So to me, it looks like I'm running ads to this one book, and then people are visiting my author page and buying some of my other books as well, because it doesn't seem like a coincidence that the sales have increased for the other books under this author name while I've been running ads to one of these books. Okay, so this is the type of niche where people would like to buy multiple books of as well. Okay, so that's the power of running ads to books that have one author name. Okay, so there's something to be said here about building a brand, running ads to those books, and then your customers are going to see your author page and go over and buy your other products as well. Okay, so just an observation. I'm no expert here, but this is Amazon ads for absolute beginners. This is just what I'm doing. It looks like it's going okay, having some success here, not exactly losing money. But again, this is just my opinion, part of my journey, not necessarily a tutorial, and I'm telling you to go out and do exactly what I've done. This is just what I've done, and I will be continuing to do for the foreseeable future as well with my books. Okay, so the absolute takeaway from this video in a nutshell is if you're a beginner and you're just starting off with Amazon, KDP, ads in general, or whatever, is to first establish if your books are good enough to run ads to. Second is to understand the budget that you're working within and what money are you willing to lose. Keep an eye on that, and then base your ads around that budget. And then when you've decided on your budget, I would go ahead and start with automatic ads and not manual ads. Go with automatic ads to begin with and see what happens with them. And then from there, you just need to give it time. Keep an eye on your ad campaigns. Make sure you don't spend too much money. Make sure you're not going crazy with the ACoS and losing lots of money like this one here. Shut off ads that aren't working. Let the ones that are working run. And again, just give it time. Let Amazon give you the data that you're paying them for, okay? Okay, so that's it for this video. Again, I'm absolutely no expert when it comes to ads. There are definitely other people on YouTube with much better knowledge on ads than I do, but this is just my journey, what I'm doing with ads and my thought processes behind running these ads, okay? So I hope it's helped, and hopefully in the future, I'll have more on running ads and manual ads and all those good things, okay? So if you haven't subscribed, feel free to, and there'll be plenty more on the way soon.